Hey guys, it's Vicky, and today I'm here to share with you my reading plans for April. I can't believe April's already here. I feel like March just went by so fast. And of course, going with what I have been doing all year, I have a very ambitious TBR again. And I think it's just because there are just so many things I want to read that I'm just jam-packing my TBR with stuff. So yeah, let's just get into it. So the first book that I plan to read in April is for the Random Reads book club. That is the book club that Bobby and I run over on Goodreads. It is linked down below if you're interested in joining us. In April, we are going to be reading What Alice Forgot by Liane Moriarty. So we've read a few kind of dark and sad sort of things, and we decided to kind of switch it up and do something maybe a little more, we're hoping a little more lighthearted. This one is about a woman named Alice who, at the beginning of the story, she is 29 years old, she's happily married, and she's pregnant with her first baby. And then one day she wakes up on the floor at the gym and discovers that she is now 39 years old, has 3 kids, and is getting a divorce. And she has like no memory of the 10 years in between. And I guess the book is about her trying to figure out kind of what went wrong and why her life has taken this turn. And so, yeah, I have been a fan of Liane Moriarty. I've read Big Little Lies, which I absolutely loved. And then I also read The Husband's Secret, which was really good. So I'm excited to check this one out. I think it's going to be a good one. All right, and then next up is a book I chose for the Buzzword Reading Challenge because the buzzword for April is space words. And this was literally the only book on my shelves that was a space word. And I'm going to read it. I'm intimidated by it, but I'm going to read it. I'm going to listen to it on audio because I feel like it's the only way that this book is going to get read by me. That is Cosmos by Carl Sagan. So this is basically one of the most famous science books that there is out there. And it's just talking about cosmos, I guess. I don't even know. I don't even know what this book is about, to be honest. But I'm going to find out. I'm going to find out. My next April read is going to be my continuation of the Chronicles of Narnia. So I'm going to be reading The Silver Chair by C.S. Lewis. And this one is the first book where the original 4 kids are not in it because they are too old. They've grown up. So it's kind of sad for me. I'm kind of sad. But a cousin, I think it is, a cousin from the 3rd book, who was in the 3rd book, Eustace, is in this one. And this time he goes to Narnia and is sent on a quest to save a prince, I think, or something like that. He has to fight an evil witch, all that good stuff. So yeah, this should be fun. I'm excited to see what happens. Okay, so then the next one I have a kind of a funny story to tell you. Okay, first let me tell you what the book is. I'm going to be reading Later by Stephen King, but before I tell you what it is about, I had pre-ordered this, obviously, because Stephen King's one of my favorite writers and I'm trying to read all of his new stuff as it comes out. And so I had pre-ordered this before I did my Page One book subscription, which is that book subscription service that I did a vlog about back in February. And so yeah, I kind of thought to myself in March, because this book came out March 2nd, I thought, I wonder if they'll send me Later. And they did. So I was so excited and happy because they were right on the nose sending me Later. But I already had a copy. So their kind of policy is if something like that happens, you just let them know and they'll send you a new book. So they are sending me a new book. It is not here yet. So hopefully I will be reading that in April, whatever it may be. But yeah, they sent me Later. And the second copy that I have, the extra copy, I'm actually going to pass on to my dad, who is also a big Stephen King fan. So anyways, I'm reading Later this month. And this one is, and I'm so excited, people have been telling me I'm gonna love this because it is a coming of age story. And it's about a kid named Jamie who has, I think he has a gift where he can talk to dead people or can see dead people or something like that. And he somehow teams up with a detective to try to help solve some crimes or something, or find a killer. I don't know, it sounds great. So the next 2 books that I want to read in April are the last 2 of my 5-star predictions, because I had picked 4 and I wanted to have them completed by the end of April so that I could do another round. Yeah, so I still have 2 more to read. The first one is Revolutionary Road by Richard Yates. This one is a contemporary story set in 1950s America about a married couple, and they have 2 young kids, I believe. And they're like basically living the American dream, but they're extremely unhappy. So it's kind of just about that. The idea of on the outside having this sort of perfect life, but being unhappy with it. So I saw the movie a long time ago, and I really, really loved the movie. So yeah, I'm excited to check out the book and see if I love it just as much. And then the other 5-star prediction I have is Sockil Girls by Claire LeGrand. I'm going to be reading this one on my Kindle. And this one I'm super excited about because, again, this is a trope I love, you guys know. It's a group of young people fighting something evil or some sort of monster. In this case, it's a group of girls, which makes that even better. And it's about them, yeah, fighting this monster that has been, I believe, abducting girls for years, and now they're finally gonna stand up to it or whatever. So, again, that's a trope I love, and I'm really excited to check it out. I hope it's 5 stars. Okay, so my next April read is one that I'm a little bit intimidated by, but I'm excited to tackle it because it is a classic that I have had on my Kindle for years and years. And what made me decide to finally read it this month is that Tracy over at the Stacks podcast does a monthly book club read, and for May, so it's the May book, but because it's such a chunker, we're starting it in April, and that is Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. Yeah, so this is a big one. It's a big classic, but I made a goal this year to read at least 3 classics, and I haven't read one yet. So figured when she announced that she was going to be, that they were going to be doing Anna Karenina for their book club, I was like, I might as well read it because it's been on my TBR and I need to read some classics. So I don't plan on finishing this book in April. I'm probably going to take the full like April and May to read it and just kind of read it in little chunks. I'm not entirely sure what it's about. I know obviously it's about a woman named Anna Karenina who I believe she is some sort of like rich socialite, or she's somehow like privileged in Russia somewhere, but then she starts to have an affair or something with somebody who is of a lower class, and then there's like dire consequences. And I already know the ending of Anna Karenina. I think most people do. So it's like I already know what's going to happen, but I'm still intrigued, and it's one that I feel like I want to kind of check off my list in terms of classics. So yeah, wish me luck. All right, so then the last book I'm putting on my TBR, I put on my TBR because if you guys saw, I did a book haul revisit this month, and for the second time that since I started doing that whole series, I had actually read all of the books, either read or unhauled them. So I had nothing to put on my TBR, because typically when I do a book haul revisit, I go through the book haul, and if I had any unread books, I would pick one of those and put it on my next month's TBR. Well, I didn't have any to pick because I read them all or unhauled them. And a couple people were like, oh man, I wish you still could have like done something to still like add something to your TBR, or kind of like make a new rule so that if this happens again, you know, you're still putting something on your TBR. And I totally agree. You guys are absolutely right. So what I decided to do was I went back and I grouped together all of the books from previous book haul revisits that are still on my shelves. And I had, let me see, I had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I had about 10. I had about 10 on there. But what I did, and what I think I'm going to do from now on, is the oldest book on that pile. So the book that I have hauled the longest, or whatever, what am I trying to say? It's been on my shelves for a long time. That's the book. If I go through a book haul revisit and I've already read all the books, I'm going to then go to that stack and pick the oldest book from like the oldest haul. If that makes any sense. I feel like I'm not explaining it very well at all. So I went back, and the oldest book I have is actually from the very first book haul that I ever did on my channel. So that means I've had this book for almost 4 years on my shelves. So it's time. It's time. But again, guys, I'm a little scared. I'm a little scared because I just don't know how it's gonna go. But that book is Leaves of Grass by Walt Whitman. Now, I think that this is gonna be a good thing for me to read because it's a big old book of poetry. I don't know what the poems are about. I'm assuming it's about like life and maybe nature and stuff. I have no idea. But I have been saying that I want to read more poetry. And this is probably one of the most famous poetry collections out there. And yeah, so I'm like, why not give it a try? I did look into it and I can listen to the audio of it on Scribd. So I think what I'll do, because that is a way I really like to read poetry, is to listen and read along. So I think I might try to do that. Again, not gonna finish this in April. I would be shocked if I finished this in April. I'm gonna take my time with it because I feel like it is going to be a lot to digest. But yeah, it's time. This book has been on my shelf for 4 years and I wanna read more poetry and it just needs to be done. So again, wish me luck, guys. All right, guys, so those are my reading plans for April. It's a little ambitious, especially because I've got Cosmos on there. I've got Anna Karenina. I've got even What Alice Forgot, though I don't think that's going to be a tough read. It is a longer read. It's almost, it's like 460 pages, which is kind of long. Revolutionary Road is like 450 pages. But again, it's like I keep adding all these books because I really want to read them. I just look at my bookshelves and I just want to read everything. I really wish I could read faster than I do. But yeah, thank goodness for audiobooks because that's going to help me out a lot, I think, this month. So yeah, let me know down below what you're planning to read for April. Do you have any ambitious choices or maybe some that are a little scary to you? Let me know. And then of course, again, if you want to join us for the What Alice Forgot group read, the random reads link is down below. I would love for you guys to join us. It should be fun. So, okay. That's all I have for today, guys. I hope you are having a wonderful week and I hope that April treats you well and I will talk with you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.